Hello, America. Today's show topics include Bernie Sanders issues religious tests, Trumpius Caesar, profiles in history, and more. So sit back, buckle up, and hang on because we're just getting started.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? I'm your host, Daniel Stafford, and you're listening to or watching the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. Look, I want to remind you there's many ways to listen or watch, tune in, however it is. Set the channel as a favorite, whatever you have to do so you don't get left behind. If, for some strange, crazy reason, you do miss the show, you'll be able to catch the replay. So just sit tight. There's absolutely no need to panic unless you're on the left, because, hey, I've got you. And in the case you aren't already following on social media, you can do so. You can find me over on the Twitters or the Gabs at Stafford Voice. Again, that's at Stafford Voice. Or on Grassfire, Facebook, Instagram. Look, whatever social site of your choosing it is, wherever, whenever. Hit the follow, hit the like, whatever you got to do. Just search for the Stafford Voice and we're probably there. Speaking of which, I need to remind you to head on over to thestaffordvoice.com. Check out a couple of things that's happening over there. I'm really trying. I'm trying to get up new content. I've started trying something new lately. We call it the kind of depends on what day it comes out, or what time of the day it comes out, but we call it the midday mashup most of the time, or the morning mashup. Basically, it's news you can use in 5 minutes or less. Pretty cool, right? So you're going to want to be able to tune in over there. Also, what up, Alan? What up, Jess? I see you guys over on the YouTube side of things. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm really humbled by those of you that are out there watching or tuning in. Maybe if you're watching for the first time or listening for the first time, I hope that you stick it out. I've got some what I think is interesting stuff to talk about tonight. We'll get into something that really kind of made me chuckle. What up, Slick? What up, Refill? Glad you guys are here. Also, if you are tuned in or watching, do me a favor. Share it on social media. Bring some other friends in. Bring some family. Let's get some stuff going on over in the chat rooms. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Right now, all I'm seeing is you guys from the YouTube side. So, yeah. Where are we at? Yeah. Okay. Excuse me. thestaffordvoice.com. Head on over there and make sure you sign up for our monthly newsletter. I will be working on that for the rest of this week and getting it pushed out later. So that's going to be exciting. We have yet to find a winner for our first giveaway to kind of kick summer off. We're going to put together this really cool barbecue package. There's some good stuff in there. I think if you really are interested in it, you're going to want to sign up for the newsletter so you don't miss your opportunity to be able to win. That's the only way you'll get information on how to win. Also, our missing person, what was her name? Refill's keeping me up to date on this. He's kind of my missing person liaison. He keeps me updated on who's been found and who's missing. Kiera Gardner, he says that she has been found. Glory to God. Yes, that's awesome. Tina, I see you in the chat. Alan, I saw you earlier. Refill, we're going to get to that here in just a second about one of those things you just talked about. Da-da-da. We've got Jess in the chat room as well. Wait, how do I win? I told you, refill. You got to sign up for the newsletter. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it anywhere else. You have to get the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, you're gonna miss out. Okay, let's get into things, shall we? And I'm warning you, some of this stuff is a little infuriating. Listen, that's really all I can say. This stuff is really pissing me off. The amount of attacks that conservatives undergo because they try and be, let's use their words. Let's use the words on the left. Let's use the words tolerant. Conservatives are not, quote-unquote, tolerant. And it's really according to those on the left. In reality, we are extremely tolerant. I think for the most part, and if you're in the chat room and you agree, hit the like button or, say something in the chat room to let me know that we're still on topic here. But here's the thing. When there's a gay pride march, one of those LGBTQ, whatever it is, marches, who is it that goes out and tries to shut it down or attack it? Was it the conservative base? Was it Republicans? Was it libertarians? No, it wasn't. Who was it? It was those on the left. It was Black Lives Matter. Now, never mind the fact that there's LGBTQ people of color. They don't matter. Black Lives Matter. Okay? You can't be gay and black and support both. You got to pick one side. Absolutely hysterical watching the left eat the left alive. Other than that, here's another one. And this really, really gets to the heart of the matter. And Jess says in the chat room, the left is anything but tolerant. I completely agree, and we're going to find out a little bit more about that just here in just a second. I see Slick's in the room. John made it. I think John is out traveling, but he's listening. I really appreciate that. So let's dive into this. Here's the thing. Bernie Sanders is issuing a religious test. What? That's right. Now, I know what you're thinking. According to Article 6 of the Constitution, that thing that we like to support, uphold, and defend all the time because we're right-wing bigots and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, Clause 3 of Article 6 of the Constitution, it ends with this: but no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Okay, where is all of this coming from? Bernie Sanders was questioning Russ Vought, who happens to be the nominee for Deputy Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Okay, red flag. Red flag. When the headline starts talking about religious tests and being in Washington, that pesky old Constitution sure makes it hard to usher in totalitarian socialism. Dang it! Yes, Al, I completely agree. So I saw this, and I wanted to dive into it. Because I think this is important. And this was brought up about Bernie Sanders really went off the deep end. I mean, he went batshit crazy with this. Forgive my speech, or not sorry, but completely batshit crazy. Look, Doc is nuts. I mean, what you do is you gotta answer the question. I gotta ask you the question, and you gotta answer the question, okay? What you do is you gotta do the question. Grandpa, shut the hell up, okay? If your question doesn't have anything to do with what he's going to be asked to do for the position that you're asking about, don't ask the question. Sanders is the deep end. He's holding the bar. Somebody needs to staple that damn thing to the bottom of the pool. Anyway, so Bernie Sanders singles out, and Refill, you're not the only one. Bernie Sanders is singling him out for an article that he wrote for a conservative publication. What was the name? The Resurgent or something like that, I think is what it was for. Anyway, where he outlined basic Christian doctrine about God in contrast to the Islamic view. Okay. I'm going to play for you the audio. I want to play for you this audio of this ignoramus asking some of the most stupid and... I'm not even going to put it into words. I'm not even going to put it into words because this jackass doesn't deserve it. Not one bit. Just listen to this nimwad in his own words, okay?
That is in the piece that I referred to that you wrote for a publication called Resurgent. You wrote, quote, Muslims do not simply have a deficient theology. They do not know God because they have rejected Jesus Christ, his son, and they stand condemned. End of quote. Do you believe that statement is Islamophobic?
Absolutely not, Senator. I'm a Christian, and I believe in a Christian set of principles based on my faith. That post, as I stated in the questionnaire to this committee, was to defend my alma mater, Wheaton College, a Christian school that has a statement of faith that includes the centrality of Jesus Christ for salvation. And
again, I apologize. Forgive me. We just don't have a lot of time. Do you believe that people in the Muslim religion stand condemned? Is that your view?
Again, Senator, I'm a Christian, and I wrote that piece.
Well, what does that say?
The statement of faith of Wheaton.
I understand that. I don't know how many Muslims there are in America. I really don't know. Probably a couple of million.
I forgot to hit the mute button. Damn it. Oh, listen. You didn't lose the audio. You lost your host. He's an idiot. Anyway. Look, here's the thing. Yes, I get it. I want to go back. Let me go back. John said he wants to know if mooses have a religion. According to Bernie Sanders, maybe they do, because we have to be tolerant. We have to show some level of tolerance. But listen, we're asking a guy who is the nominee for deputy director of the Office of Management and Budget. We're asking him what he believes, whether he believes... No, John, it wasn't you, it was me. I'm an idiot. We're giving him a religious test based off of an article he wrote that just so happened to be in line with his Christian beliefs. What does this have to do with budget issues? That's what I want to know. Because according to Article 6 of the Constitution, which we already covered, it's in our little magic book, we can't ask those things. There is no religious test. And to be quite honest, there hasn't ever been one single Supreme Court case where we had to challenge this issue. Yes, my ID10T award needs to be framed, and we probably need to put it right back here on the wall so we can share it with everybody. Okay. Yes, Slick, none of this matters. The Constitution prohibits this line of questioning. But, we're not done. We are not done at all. Let's continue.
Are you suggesting that all of those people stand condemned? What about Jews? They stand condemned too?
Senator, I'm a Christian.
I understand you are a Christian, but this country is made up of people who are not just. I understand that Christianity is the majority religion, but there are other people who have different religions in this country and around the world. In your judgment, do you think that people who are not Christians are going to be condemned?
Thank you for probing on that question. As a Christian, I believe that all individuals are made in the image of God and are worthy of dignity and respect, regardless of their religious beliefs. I believe that as a Christian, that's how I should treat all individuals.
And do you think your statement that you put into that publication, they do not know God because they've rejected Jesus Christ the Son and they stand condemned, do you think that's respectful of other religions?
Senator, I wrote a post based on being a Christian and attending a Christian school that has a statement of faith that speaks clearly with regard to the centrality of Jesus Christ in salvation.
I would simply say, Mr. Chairman, that this nominee is really not someone who is what this country
Okay, so here's how he ends that. Bernie Sanders, the audio kind of trails off there at the end, and I apologize. I didn't touch the audio at all. He says, I would simply say, Mr. Chairman, that this nominee is really not someone who this country is supposed to be about. Okie dokie. Apparently, Mr. Sanders is wrong. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Listen. And let me echo something that was just said in the chat room over on YouTube. The ACLU and CARE have condemned VOD as well. Screw all these organizations. We have a serious problem if we are and this goes right along with what you're saying, Slick. We have a serious problem when we start judging people according to their faiths with relation to the job that they are applying for. We need to show a little more tolerance. Oh, but, the left is the side that's supposed to be tolerant, not the right. Those of us conservatives out there, we honestly know and understand that if... I'm going to save that quote from Sanders. We understand that we can, and this is a bad choice of words, but we can coexist in a society with mixed religions. We can take a little bit from here and a little bit from there and advance society. Can we not? Am I wrong here? If I'm wrong, let me know. Here's what Sanders said. Here's what his official statement was that the office released after this. In a democratic society founded on the principle of religious freedom, we can all disagree over issues, but racism and bigotry, condemning an entire group of people because of their faith, cannot be part of any public policy. Here's the thing. The only party of racism is the left, Bernie Sanders, you piece of shit. You're the one who supports Black Lives Matter. You're the one who supports the KKK. Why? You're the party of the KKK, the party that started it. When Lincoln got up on that podium and said that we need to stop slavery, I guarantee you would have fought against him. This article that I stumbled upon, and if you guys, look, I'm asking you guys, if you guys see stuff like this, let me know. Hit me up on social media. I want to know, and let's talk about it. Seriously, we cannot let stuff like this go idle. So in this post, it says that Sanders wants public officials to have religious freedom, except when their religious views contain something he might consider bigoted, such as a view of hell or condemnation. What Sanders is really pushing for, whether he knows it or not, is a, quote, universalists only policy for those who would serve in public office. You can believe what you want as long as your theology doesn't teach that others might one day be judged. Holy hell, you freaking moron. Colonel Sanders, if this is the idea that you want to go with, Jews, Christians, and I'm talking all levels of Christianity, whether you're a Baptist or a Mormon or Presbyterian or Nazarene. Oh, and yes, Islam. Or as Bernie Sanders puts it, Muslims. I didn't realize that you guys thought my Bernie Sanders was okay? I mean, seriously? I don't know. That's really the first time I ranted with it earlier. So, and here's the thing. They even touched on this. Sanders excludes historic Christianity, Judaism, and Islam from the public square. I mean, if we really want to take away those things and basically judge the person off of what they feel happens at a later date after you die and you go into the netherworlds, whatever you think or believe, then you have to reject is there a single religion? No! Because even those on the left who are out having sex with trees, yes, it's a thing. I don't get it. They rub dirt all over themselves and it gets them off. Anyway, they probably believe that if they die, they grow back as a tree or a flower or they come back as a butterfly. In reality, they're going to wind up just being buried and worms are going to crawl through their body just the same. Okay, so it goes on to say in this article, in Sanders' view, if you think others will be condemned in eternity, you cannot possibly love or respect them, let alone live in peace with them. Your belief that they might be condemned is proof enough that you hate them. But how is that logical? That's as absurd as saying Joe sees a man in the street who's going to get hit by a bus and therefore Joe hates him. Okay. Let's they go on to say let me see. I'm going to be quiet about this now. There's only one thing left to do. Slick, you can't be quiet. You cannot be quiet. You have, Bonhoeffer said, yeah, I mean, that being quiet and, voting for the lesser of two evils, this is exactly how we got here. We can't do this any longer. You're smart enough to understand that. You know you can't be quiet, and I know you're not going to be. So it is what it is. Bonhoeffer said, to speak or not to speak is to speak, not to act is to act. Okay. So this article goes on to say, yet it seems that only conservatives are prepared to deliver that kind of tolerance. The American left pays lip service to diversity, yet in practice routinely shuns the most important kind of diversity of viewpoint. And this is key right here. Well, Slick, I'm going to have to ask you to go into it because I must have missed something. It says the left is very good at respecting diversity at the levels of externals, like skin color, religion, religious tradition, ethnicity, stuff like that. But when it comes to actual viewpoints, the left is a seamless monolith and wishes to stay that way. Enough is enough. Okay, so let me touch on what Slick's saying. Yes, I won't speak on this again. Bonhoeffer is only right if man does not have the will to act and not just talk. All right, Tina, I think I'm following. Slick, I think I'm following with you. I'm with you. Okay. Refill, I think you understand what there is left to do. I think that what we're doing here is just one piece of the pie, if you will. I think there's a handful of things that we need to do and need to focus on. But I'll let you guys go into it, and I'll kind of observe and see. I want to see what you guys have to say about that. I think there's a handful of things that we need to do. Anyway. Okay, what else do we got? Trumpius Caesar. Yes, Trumpius Caesar. I touched on this last week during one of the midday mashups, one of the mashups that we put together. I told you that in New York at the Shakespeare in the Park that this go around they're doing Julius Caesar. Now, it's a good play. The read is a good play. I won't say that this particular instance is a good play because of how they're going about portraying things. How so? Well, let me give you